I've been waiting 17 years for today.
It wasn't dealing with anybody on the shows or anything, right?
It was a child actor.
That clip you just saw was from the trailer for Investigation Discovery's new docuseries that you might have heard about out right now. It's called Quiet on the Set: The Dark Side of Kids TV. This tell-all about the underbelly of the Nickelodeon network premiered 10 days ago and can be streamed on several platforms, including Max. Since it came out, it's been seen by 16 million people. That's the largest audience of an unscripted series since Max's launch. Heidi spent some time today with a Minnesotan that was connected to this investigation, Rick Ellis, who's been writing about the producer at the center of that docuseries for some time. Right, Heidi?
Yeah, that's correct, Jana, and he lives in Inver Grove Heights. The directors contacted Rick Ellis a year ago. Last May, he flew out to LA on a Tuesday night, did the interview the next morning, then flew back home. Since the documentary came out March 17th, he's been getting emails from people all across the world.
Through his website, allyourscreens.com,
I've been plugging away for a while.
Rick Ellis writes about all things TV.
Sometimes it gets attention and sometimes it doesn't.
But in 2018, when producer Dan Schneider parted ways with Nickelodeon,
What happened to Dan Schneider?
Rick started asking questions.
Former Viacom exec, I never saw any evidence of sexual misconduct with Dan Schneider.
Those articles led to an unexpected email years later.
They had apparently decided to do some sort of a documentary about Dan Schneider and the whole Nickelodeon teen TV era, and they were looking around, and really there were only a couple of people who had written anything about it.
Millions of people have watched Quiet on Set: The Dark Side of Kids TV. The docuseries is described as uncovering the toxic culture behind some of the most iconic children's shows on Nickelodeon from the late 90s to early 2000s.
You're in Inver Grove Heights, and you'd think you're talking to all people in LA, New York.
Well, I've always had trouble getting people to believe that, even reporters. I'll try and convince them, and I think they really have a hard time wrapping their brains around it.
The series heavily features Schneider.
He produced a lot of these shows that people remember from that era: Sam and Cat, Victorious, iCarly, all these different shows he created, was a showrunner on. He was not an easy person to work for.
Quiet on Set accuses Schneider of everything from inappropriate to abusive behavior.
I definitely owe some people a pretty strong apology.
There's a lot of incentive if you're 10 years old and you're on a show and you're making more money than your entire family. You're going to take a lot of abuse. You're going to do a lot of things which probably you wouldn't do if you thought about it or you were a little older.
On the day of sentencing for Brian.
In the docuseries, former Nickelodeon star Drake Bell shared his story, saying he was sexually abused as a child by Brian Peck. The former Nickelodeon dialogue coach pleaded no contest in 2004 and was sentenced to 16 months in prison.
I talked to one of the producers, Emma, who did the Drake Bell interview, and she said that was the hardest interview she'd ever done because it's just so heartfelt and so, you can just tell the pain in the guy.
What's your hope from all of this coming out and just how widespread it's gone?
I guess there will be some things put into place so that this doesn't happen again, and that will protect some of the kids. But as far as the people who are involved in this getting any sort of impact on their lives, I don't think there's going to be much, unfortunately.
Nickelodeon, in a statement, told us it investigates all formal complaints, adding, quote, "We have adopted numerous safeguards over the years to help ensure we are living up to our own high standards and the expectations of our audience." Rick says he plans to keep on writing about this topic. He has 80,000 subscribers to his newsletter. A bonus 5th episode of Quiet on Set will be released April 7th, digging deeper into the topics explored in those previous episodes, Jana.
Which is smart on their part. They've clearly hit a nerve with all of us who grew up watching those shows. But I know you've watched it, Heidi. It's a difficult watch.
It's incredibly difficult to watch. A lot of things kind of took me back that maybe I did watch when I was younger, and I didn't really catch on until reflecting now in my 30s watching it.
All right. Thanks so much, Heidi. Appreciate it.